had to get up really early to take the kids to school for breakfast. While I'm reading around, like, the preps are the ones that have breakfast, but the grade 2s are the ones that don't have breakfast. And I've got one prep with me, one grade 2. So I'm waiting around with the grade 2, watching them play football and play on the playground, run around and all that kind of stuff until normal school starts. And talking to other parents and older siblings who are also waiting for their high school to open. And we started talking about Vanity, pretty much. Like, she's going to the dentist because her parents told her her teeth are big and crooked. So now she's self-conscious about it. And have been told by parents that she has to marry a boy and her brother has to marry a girl. These rules, these regulations, even that it's free dress day, and most of the kids care about branding and things like that. Wearing the Nike and the Adidas, and just a reminder of how we compare ourselves with others and how self-conscious those people must be for them to care about the brands and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, it's just unnecessary stress in their life over something that we wouldn't even think about if we weren't comparing ourselves with other people. She wouldn't have even had an issue about her teeth. Everyone's got something going on with their teeth, you know? Not everyone has Hollywood smiles. She wouldn't have an issue with it if she wasn't comparing herself with others. You know, having a mirror might be, you know, seeing our own reflection might be one of the traits of humanity that we should have. Because then you'd be living from your soul, not from what you look like. Like, I can understand hygiene, cleanliness. I can't understand that they feel less about themselves because they weren't born with something that they admire in another, instead of just admiring that other for the trait that you like, whatever, and not feeling less than because you didn't get that, because there's things that you have, because we're so unique and so different. There's things that you have that they admire. I also think, like, there's a difference between wanting to look good for yourself, like taking care of yourself, and what they're doing, judging everyone, like being what they think society wants them to be, and doing all these things to live up to what they think society should be, and then going to their school and projecting their judgment on all those who did not do what they just did. I just don't think the same way as other people. I know that if I was sitting here, this is why the video is so useful to me. Because I can't sit down and have a conversation like this with people, because they actually think that out of the way. Like, yeah, I buy my whatever, and you're like, that's fine if you like it, if that's what you want to do with the world. Like, I'm not having any issue with people who want to buy whatever they want to buy because they want, it makes them feel good in themselves. They're not doing it because they think that society wants them to do it. They actually want to do it. I'm not having a judgment about anything that anyone actually wants to do. My judgment is basically on trying to live up to society's standards, because you think that you're not worthy if you haven't got this particular view that mainstream have stamped on you. It's that you must be this if you want to feel good. Anyway, I'm glad we had this talk. By the way, I don't have any of that kind of crap floating around in my head. I can't do anything to change the high school system. It is what it is. We learn some valuable things out of it, and we pretty much grow out of it in our 30s or 40s. So there's hope for all these high school kids. And there's also no hope. Because even if, like, I think with like the van dwelling community, you learn to not really care about a lot of things that you normally care about. Like today I haven't done anything, I brushed my hair, so I'm still conforming, but it's also for me, so that's that discernment of like I'm doing what I feel comfortable for me. When I go to work, I do make an effort with my makeup. Now, we're not an effort, like there's some people that really make an effort and they kind of look like models. I just like to kind of look not tired. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, just feel more refreshed. And that I'm not saying other people are wrong for doing what they do. Like, I'm just saying if they're doing it for themselves, I feel like that's fine. If they're doing it to try and live up to society's image of what they think society, like what they want to be. Like these people who are wearing like this contour line thing, that's, I don't get it. It's sort of like what, if you were tribal, I can understand that line, but you're walking around, it's not judging them on, doing that. I'm just thinking they're trying to actually live up to some kind of Hollywood view of what they think they need to look like in order to get approval from society. But then they do that, there must be some part of them that goes, what am I doing? Oh, this is crazy. But instead they judge the people who aren't doing that. It's really like, it's the way that the high school girl was talking, she's like, how they, people are looking at her and judging her. And I'm like, wow. God, I remember high school, and life hasn't changed much since then, but your mindset changes over time as well. You start to, it's really important in high school age, your image, your self-image, because you're actually, now you're at the age where you're choosing your identity to the world, whereas, primary school, you're drifting along with your parents' identity of you and your school's identity of you and stuff like that. And then you've got high school where you're starting to actually create your own identity and identify with who you're identifying with. And so you're starting to try and feel right and have this identity. And then you go into the workplace and you've got to let go of the childish stuff that you took on in high school and adapt to the workplace identity. And there's all these different cycles that we go through in our lives where we're redefining our identity, but some people get so stuck in, I am this identity. I don't want to segregate one little group just to make my point, but yeah, they get stuck in, this is who I am, and then they can't adapt to any circumstances that they're in. So we're always adapting and all that kind of stuff, but it's like that, finding that identity that you feel comfortable with, that also doesn't go sway too far away from the society that you're in. We so become who we hang out with. We so become that. It's that comfort level thing. We find our identity, we live true to our own identity, and then so that we don't have to change too much, we find people like others that are very similar so that we can be that comfort space of who we are. But I don't like when you're that and then you're judging all that isn't what you have decided, whereas you wouldn't want everyone to have the same identity as you. That would make for a very clonish kind of life. And that's what I'm seeing they're doing, sort of like becoming a clone to someone they admire, like a celebrity or something like that, and then judging people who aren't doing that. It's so, yeah, high school stuff. Interesting little chat with a year eight girl. Okay, bye.